Well, I apologize for the algae on the glass. I need to scrape it. I did do water changes the other day, but I didn't have time to get the tank scrubbed down, so have to happen another day. But a conversation has popped up on the Guppy group page that is interesting, and I thought it'd be easier to answer some questions through a video than typing it out. And so that's what I'm going to try and do here. I want to talk about real quick how I am colony breeding for a specific trait in these guppies here in this little 5.5 gallon aquarium. So the basic thing that I'm going for is this male back here. If we can see him. It's not very clear because of the algae, I know. This guy has got a red on his dorsal part of his body from the back of the head all the way into the caudal. You can see him right there. And he's got yellow and purple and blue on the lower part. And then he's got a short yellow sword on his caudal fin. That would be his tail fin. And his dad had a very similar color pattern. Slightly different, but I actually like this guy better. So I don't mind the subtle changes. And then the females have this red tail, and some of them, when they get really mature, start to get that bluish cast in the tail as well. All right, this is a line out of my Japan Blue Gold Double Sword Guppies. And which doesn't display any of these characters. The females are a plain gold, no other color. The males are blue and gold with sometimes a little red or orange in the tail. And they've got two decently long swords that stream off of the caudal fin. So that's the line these came out of. Now, I found the male and decided to work on producing a red line. Now I'm calling these a rainbow red comet. And what I did is I took the male with 2 or 3 young females that were out of my colony. Now I colony breed, so I don't have virgin females, but these were young enough to where I don't think they were breeding yet. And so he got them all to himself. And I let them breed and let the offspring start growing up. And then I got this guy, thankfully, because his dad died. And then one female with a red tail. Well, then I took out all the other females and all the other males that had been born, and I bred this guy back to his mother, and also the one female that I got from the mom that looked like her. And so then now I'm starting to get lots of females with red in the tail. Like here's one here. Now it takes quite a while for them to get mature enough to show the bluish, so I don't know if that's going to come yet or not. And it seems to get more intense with age. Now I only have this guy as far as a male still, but my females are getting more consistent. I'm getting more red-tailed females. Until recently, I got another male. He's in a different tank. The light isn't on, so we won't look at him right now. That looks just like his dad. So what I plan to do is then remove this male, the best females, and his son that looks just like him, and put him in this tank that I'm cleaning up with this hang on back. It's oversized, but I need to get all the mulm and stuff under control in there. So I'm getting this tank cleaned up. It's still cycled, but I'm trying to polish up the water. And start a new colony in this tank, and then I'll slowly let these raise up, and unless the perfect male or female shows up in the fry, they will all be gotten rid of over time as they get older. Okay, so let me tell you in a little bit more detail of how that works. I took a random male that showed up with traits that I wanted and put him to females from the same line that seemed to be unbred. I only had a few females, like 3 females, 2 or 3 females. Then I got this male and some females with red tails. So ideally, if his dad had lived, I would have taken and bred those red-tailed females that were his daughters back to the father. Okay, so that means I would have removed any other females that didn't have the trait I wanted and only had the father in there and bred them back to his daughter. But unfortunately, he died. I think he got a tumor. So I can't do that. So I've been working with this male who was the closest traits that I wanted and I actually like better, and breeding them to his mom and sisters. And then I'm going to take those and isolate a few of the including mom, a few daughters or sisters to the male and that male, and then his son that's from either his mom and him or his sisters and him. And they will go in the other tank. And that's all you're doing is basically you're doubling down on your genes. So you're limiting it to just fish with the desired traits. They may not be perfect, but you're only including fish with the desired traits. Or if you don't have a matching female with desired traits, what I would do is take females that are pretty plain Jane, that don't express a lot, and hopefully are young enough to where, if you're colony breeding like I am, they're young enough to where they haven't been bred. But if they have been bred, what I would do is put them in a breeder cup or breeder box and then let them drop any fry out and then immediately put them with the desired male, because then you'll get a larger percentage of his offspring. If you don't have virgin females and you don't let her clean out, you will end up with a lot of fry in the first generation or two that aren't his. So the best thing to do is start with virgin if you have them. If not, go young females that hopefully haven't been bred yet. And if that's not possible, then clean out your female by isolating her, letting her drop, and then as soon as she's dropped, move her in with the male you want, so he's the one that gets to hit her, not some other random male. That's what makes guppies hard, is that the females store the sperm, and if you're not careful, you will end up with just hodgepodge. And in a colony setting like this, it's going to take a lot longer to produce the desired look than in a line breeding setup, which Nedra can talk to you about line breeding in great detail. She's very, very good. I am a colony breeder, so this is how I try to isolate a trait in a colony setting. So basically I set up a colony, let it breed. Once I get fish I want, I'm going to pair down to those fish, let them start again, and just repeat that process. Basically set up the colony, and I'm not adding new genetics. Don't keep adding fish. You'll never get anywhere. If you keep adding fish, you're gonna just have randomness, which if you like just a mixed guppy, that's fine. It's not wrong, but the best thing is to keep the genetics focused by keep resetting the colony with just a few fish of desired traits.